the winter, around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I've actually heard these guys making that "Who Cooks For You" sound at night. So if you ever hear that, you might want to go looking for a barred owl. Something really cool about the barred owl as well, if you play that sound on a speaker, if you played a barred owl sound on a speaker, these guys are actually territorial and they'll come right up to you when you play that sound on a speaker because they think that another barred owl is in the area and they want to try to scare that bird away. So I've actually seen barred owls do that as well. Now, there's a couple of common misconceptions people have about owls. First one is that all owls do. Again, when she flaps her wings, she doesn't make any noise at all whatsoever. She's talking a little bit for us. You want to do that again? Maybe? Maybe not. But as I was saying, there's a couple of common misconceptions about owls. The first one is that they all make some type of hooting sound. The barred owl does make a hooting sound. She was just making it a little bit. That "Cooks For You" sound. But the second common misconception about owls that most people think is that they can turn their heads all the way around. Some people even think that they can turn their heads around and around and around and around and around. They can't do that. They can't even turn their heads all the way around. So owls can actually only turn their heads around about 270 degrees, so about 3/4 of the way around. So they can turn their heads, if they're facing forward, they can go all the way around to the other shoulder, but then they have to turn their heads all the way back around. They can do that both ways. But they can't turn their heads all the way around, but they are a lot more flexible than our neck. We think they can do that because they actually have twice as many bones in their neck than we do. So all these bumps in their neck, all those vertebrae in your neck, we have 7 of those bones in our neck. These birds have 14 of those bones in their neck. So it does make their necks a lot more flexible so they're able to turn their head most of the way around. Now, the part of her eyes that you're looking at are actually the smallest part of her eyes. Her eyes are actually much bigger inside of their head. So their eyes are much bigger inside their head because it helps collect more light so they can have better nighttime vision, so they can see better at night, collect more light that way. But because her eyes are so big inside of her head, they can't move their eyes in their sockets like we can. So we can move our eyes all the way around, I can look everywhere, but these birds can't do that. They can't move their eyes like we can. So that's another reason they have to be able to move their entire heads around. So they need to actually turn their head to where they want to look because they can't move their eyes like we can. But again, those are the owls that we have for you guys here today. But we're going to be moving on from the nocturnal birds, those owls, and we're going to be switching gears a little bit. Now, we talked to a lot of kids, we do a lot of presentations, and we learned that most people know that word nocturnal, awake during the night and asleep during the day. But